Thanks for joining us today on Exalted Higher. Each time we get together, we hope to bring you music videos of some of the latest Christian artists around, including sneak peeks behind the songs they sing. We'll touch on all genres of Christian music, from pop, gospel, country, hip-hop, and a few throwback classics. So sit back and relax and wait. Grab your phone and call a friend and tell them Exalted Higher is on. This week, we'll be continuing our conversation with Matthew West as he was preparing the start of his 2017 All-In Tour.
Well, some would describe my sound as soulful, or having that gospel, that little hint of gospel music. I think, I just grew up listening to all kinds of music, so I love pop music. I grew up listening to contemporary Christian music too, but I also loved like oldies music, like, man, the doo-wop stuff, and it was very soulful, and it's funny because I was thinking about it, like, my dad didn't let us listen to like secular music growing up. We listened to Christian music, but he would let us listen to oldies radio too. So I would listen to like the Golden Oldies station, Dick Biondi, I think was his name, in Chicago. And I would hear all these like doo-wop, doo-wop, And so what's funny is I listen to my music now, and I always have these little parts in my songs that are like, whoa, 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 or la, 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 la. And it's sort of borrowed from all that. So, I mean, regardless of what style people might put my music, what category they might put it in, my goal is just that it's all heart. That's all soul. That like every song I sing, I'm gonna put it out there, and I'm gonna give it all I got. And in case it's the last song I ever sing, no regrets. My favorite socks, I would have to say solid color. I mean, if my daughters had their way, I'd be wearing some kind of crazy pink socks, and all your viewers would be looking at me like I'm crazy. But as long as I don't care what kind of sock it is, as long as it covers the toenails that my daughters may or may not have made me let them paint. So on any given day, I'm rolling in. I can't wear flip-flops because I got, my toenails painted blue or something like that. My mom has a very pretty voice, and I don't know what age she stopped singing me to sleep. Some days I think I still need her to do it, because I don't sleep too well on that tour bus, but I think it'd be a little weird for a grown man to have his mom sing himself to sleep right now. But I learned a lot about singing from her, and she never really taught me. I never really learned by asking her questions or having her teach me. It was more just observing. And so my memories were in church on Sunday morning. Whatever song we sang, she would sing the harmony to it in the front row. And I would pick up how to do that from listening to her. And what's cool is now my daughters do that because they hear me sing in church. And so my mom, she would never admit it, but she has a beautiful voice. And she taught me how to sing harmony. The top of my playlist, man, I have many songs at the top of my playlist. I'm gonna have to say, this is gonna sound weird, but at the top of my playlist right now is the first songs from my new record. Because we've been working on a new record. I've been working in the studio, and so I've got, I listen nonstop to the new record to keep tweaking it. So literally all 14 songs on my new album called All In, I've been just listening to those nonstop. And then what happens is when they finally say, okay, Matthew, no more tinkering, no more tweaking, it's got to be done, we have to release it to the world, then I finally put it away, and I usually don't listen to my record for maybe 6 months because I'm too critical of it. And so I have to give it a break, and then maybe I come back and listen to it again, and hopefully I'm like, it's pretty good. Who is this guy? A lot of people ask me, how do you get started? And I want to be an artist, or I believe God's called me to make music or be in Christian music. And so there's always people, like in every city I travel to, that want advice on how to do that. The biggest piece of advice that I've been able to give is because there's no one set path. In other professions, it's like, okay, well, if you get this degree, right, if you go to this college and then you go to this internship, then you could get this job. It's a little more cut and dry. In music, it's always like, it's like all these winding rivers that somehow lead to the same, destination. And like mine was a weird one. I was an athlete that thought he was going to play professional baseball, and instead of a baseball bat in my hands, I have a guitar, and how does this all happen? So a lot of people have those questions. So the real advice that I can give at the outset is just, if you believe that God has called you to make music and make Christian music, then whenever somebody asks you to sing, you say yes. You go, you just go and do it. And some people are shy or have a hard time getting in front of an audience. The best part is get plugged into your local church and lead worship, or maybe tell your pastor you want to write a song for his sermon, just like I did, those kinds of things. Being willing to sing and start small. I had a friend once tell me, Matthew, I see myself singing in front of 5,000 people. And I said to him, I said, well, have you ever sung in front of 5 people? He's like, no, 5,000. I said, the Bible talks about small beginnings. And what it says about small beginnings is not to despise them. In other words, don't look down on them. Don't overlook the importance of small beginnings. My small beginnings were, playing for 2 people at Barnes & Noble's bookstore. I did that for a long time. And so it really, you have to be ready for a long journey for most people, but then also just being faithful with whatever platform God gives you in that moment. My friend likes to say, bloom where you're planted. So if you're so focused on looking, at what you think your promised land is, you might miss that journey along the way and the different people that God can use you to impact their life. Ironically, these days I've got the biggest platform that I've ever had in my life. And now, because people are sending their stories to, my focus keeps getting smaller. And that's a good thing, because instead of trying to write a hit song for the masses, I get that story and I'm trying to write a song for Renee. And I think sometimes people at the beginning forget that that's really where it starts, but that's also where it ends, changing one person's life at a time through the message of God's love.
My name is Jordan, and this is a story of my life.
This really affected me. I found myself just kind of cheering this guy on. He started his story by saying,
hello, my name is Jordan, and I'm a drug addict. And that's how, for a long time, that's how I introduced myself.
Jordan went on to say that he wasn't born or raised to become a drug addict. He's the son of a preacher, just like me. He went to a Christian college. He was an All-American athlete in track and field and football, but he broke his ankle his sophomore year in college.
From that, I had 2 surgeries on my left ankle, so I got introduced to Oxycontin. And it was like, I couldn't play sports, I couldn't run track, I couldn't play football. Mommy and Daddy ain't near. So I found my identity in that then. Something that at the time I thought brought me joy, made me feel a way I'd never felt before. Before then I'd never drank, I'd never done any drugs, never smoked, never done anything, never took a dip of skull, and I'd never had sex. Until this. The worst it ever got was when all of a sudden snorting it wasn't good enough. And I got introduced to a needle. having to chase the high 24/7 because Jordan didn't know who Jordan was anymore. Without an Oxycontin either in his nose or in his veins. The person I used to be, I don't know if I didn't think I'd ever be able to find him again, and I was almost okay and resigned to the fact that this is who I was going to be for the rest of my life.
He failed one drug test and then a second drug test, which meant he was suspended from college and from all sports.
They kicked me out of school for a year. They put me, couldn't take no classes, couldn't play no sports for 1 year. And that night, I was afraid to call my mom and dad. I was afraid to tell them what had happened. And that night, I tried my best to overdose and kill myself, which, thank God, didn't happen.
Jordan found himself at Teen Challenge,
A year-long addiction recovery program.
Mom and Dad get to walk me around and get to see where I'm going to be staying for the next year. And comes time, it's about time for them to leave and me to stay. And I remember walking around to the back of the car and I'm bawling my eyes out, scared to death. And I said, Mom, there's no way you're going to leave me here. You're not really going to do this, are you? You love me more than this, than to leave me here at this place. She said, no, I love you too much to take you home. And they pulled out, and the first thing I did, I went in my room, I bawled my eyes out like I am now, and I wrote them a letter. They had just left. I wrote them a letter. And for 4 months, that's all I got to do was write them a letter. And for 4 months, through those letters, we mended relationships and we became a family again.
It was there that he discovered what he really needed, a personal relationship with Christ, and he began to pick up the pieces of his broken life. See, Jordan's story is a story of redemption. He wound up going back to the very college that kicked him out, getting his master's degree from there.
I told Dad in Teen Challenge, I said, Dad, I'll never run again. I said, you know what, I just feel like sports just really led me to where I was. And he said, don't sell God short on his gifts of what he's given. He's given you ability to run very fast. Ran track that whole semester, ran track for that indoor-outdoor season, ran as fast as I'd ever ran in my life.
Now he's a teacher and a coach at the high school he graduated from. He just got engaged, and he's just announced his calling to become a preacher, just like his dad. And this is the way Jordan finished his story. He said, I no longer introduce myself as a drug addict, but rather,
hello, my name is Jordan, and I'm a child of the one true King.
Hello, my name is Regret. I'm pretty sure we have met. Every single day of your life, I'm the whisper inside that won't let you forget. Hello, my name is Defeat. I know you recognize me. Just when you think you can win, I'll drag you right back down again until you've lost all belief. Well, these are the voices. Yeah, these are the lies. And I have believed it for the very last time. Hello, my name is Child of the One True King. I've been saved, I've been changed, I have been set free. Amazing grace is the song I sing. Hello, my name is Child of the One True King. Come on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Say, whoa, 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 whoa. I am no longer defined by all the wreckage behind. The one who makes all things new has proven it's true. Just take a look at my life. Hello, my name is Child of the One True King. I've been saved, I've been changed, I have been set free. Amazing grace is the song I sing. Hello, my name is child of the one true King. Say, whoa, oh, whoa, whoa. Whoa, oh, whoa, whoa. Whoa, oh, whoa, whoa. Listen. What love the Father has lavished upon us.
And that's unbelievable to me to think that God could use a sorry little drug addict like I was, and because of God forcing me to be still and saying, Jordan, if you'll take care of what you can take care of, so now I got the rest under control. I can take care of it.
Hello, my name is child of the one true King. I've been saved, I've been changed, I have been set free. An amazing grace is the song I sing. Hello, my name is child of the one true King. Whoa, oh, whoa, well, I am a child of the one true King. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh. All right, put your hands together with me. Come on, say. What love the Father has lavished upon us, that we should be called His children. You a child of the one true King, of the one true King. Say what love upon us, that we should be called His children. I am a child of the one true King. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's good?
it's good.
Thanks for letting me play it for you, man.
That's good.
Thanks for letting me write it.
What a powerful story Jordan has to tell. It makes me think, you know, just like Jordan, we all have a name tag attached to our story. Hello, my name is, and then you and me get to spend our whole lives trying to fill in that blank. You know, so many times I've allowed my past mistakes, the shame, regrets from poor choices to falsely define who I am and fill in the blank with names that I wish I didn't have. And that's when the devil will go to work, trying to drill it in our head, trying to make us believe that who we once were, that's who we're always gonna be. Well, sometimes it's not just our mistakes or our past that we allow to define us. Sometimes the world's gonna go out of its way to make us believe that we're something other than who God says we are. Man, I'm so thankful that for every lie that the world or the devil tries to make us believe about who we are, there's a truth that speaks louder than the lies. One of my favorite verses in the Bible makes it clear, hands down, who we are, what our name is. 1 John 3:1. See what great love the Father has lavished upon us, that we should be called His children. The very next sentence says, and that is what we are. I hope you know, and I hope you believe that no matter what lies have been written on your name tag, God's love is powerful enough to erase it and replace it with our true identity. Hello, my name is child of the one true King.
Over the last 2 programs, you've had a chance to get to know the real Matthew West. Matthew shared his heart for ministry and allowed us to peek inside his humorous side. We've learned that it doesn't always take being a skilled keyboard player or guitarist, but it does take having a love for presenting the gospel in song, not just to the masses, but sometimes to just one. We've learned through his songs that we could find our own stories of redemption and healing. We can find just how much God loves and cares for us. Thank you, Matthew, for sharing your passion with the world.
He is not confined, he confounds. he will not resign. Hear sounds, he is not restrained. Oh, hear the sound, oh, hear the sound. The rocks are falling, the broken calling to the God who moves the mountains. The earth is shaking, the weary waking to the God who moves the mountains. God who moves the mountains, yeah. He is not surprised, he surrounds. He cannot be stopped, yeah, he stands. He is drawing near, oh, hear the sound, oh, hear the sound. The rocks are falling, the broken calling to the God who moves the mountains. The earth is shaking, the weary waking to the God who moves the mountains. God who moves the mountains, yeah. You say speak, and we say move, and you say watch what you can do, and you say trust, and then you prove you're the God who moves the mountains, the God who moves the mountains. You say speak, and we say move, and you say watch what you can do, and you say trust, and then you prove you're the God who moves the mountains, the God who moves the mountain. Rocks are falling, the broken calling to the God who moves the mountains. My earth is shaking, the weary waking to the God who moves the mountains, the God who moves the mountains. Rocks are falling, the broken calling to the God who moves the mountains. Oh, my earth is shaking, the weary waking to the God who moves the mountains, the God who moves the mountains. Oh, move this mountain, yeah. Gotta move this mountain. Gotta move my mountain, yeah.
That's it for now. Thank you for tuning in. Scripture says, therefore, God also has highly exalted him and given him the name which is above every name. We know that at the name of Jesus, every knee will bow before him. So we lift him up with our music and our praise. If you've enjoyed our show tonight, we'd love to hear from you. You can contact us at our website at exaltedhigher.com. You can also like us on Facebook. We're starting a community calendar, and we'd love to receive your announcements for concerts and events. You can submit your information on our website. Interested in becoming a sponsor of this show? We'd love to hear from you. Contact us at exaltedhigher.com. Join us next time for more of Exalted Higher, right here on this station.